Let me quickly talk to you about TD Bank's $500,000 EIN only business line of credit. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweater Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about the $500,000 TD Bank EIN only business line of credit. Is this a line of credit that's good for you? Let's find out. It's very important to understand that with TD Bank, when you access a line of credit, when you have a line of credit, you can access cash for frequent expenses that can be paid off quickly, like inventory or payroll. It's all about your company's financial situation, right? We agree with that. It's also important to understand that your cash flows, your cash inflows, and your cash outflows will determine your funding needs and whether or not you want to tap into that line of credit once you are approved. So with the TD Bank small business line of credit, you will get a competitive variable rates, access to your money with checks or online transfers, the ability to pay down and reuse the line of credit, and you have an interest-only payment option. Again, remember, you can apply for this line of credit with EIN only or without EIN. Okay, so if you want to apply for a line of credit that is under $100,000, you can apply online, not a problem. But if you want to apply for, let's say, you want to go for a line of credit that goes from $25,000 all the way to $500,000, then you might have to apply. You might either have to secure the line of credit partially or totally, or you might have to go to a branch and sit down with a banker. Okay, remember that when we talk about a line of credit from TD Bank, this is best for one-time financing. Okay, this is best for equipment. This is best for equipment or vehicles. This is best for expansion or renovation. This is best for if you're trying to get a lump sum working capital. Okay, you have access to cash that helps you run your business and take care of some business expenses, rent, inventory, payroll, daily operations. And also when we talk about, let's say you want a higher line of credit from $25,000 to $500,000. Again, as I said earlier, you can secure the line. You can use collateral, or you can have to walk to a branch and sit down and show your financial statements and explain what the money will be used for. If you want to secure the line of credit, you can typically use cash or accounts receivable. Okay, so this is really good. And your line of credit can be paid down and used again. And you have monthly payments that are automatically deducted from your TD Bank checking accounts, business checking accounts, that is. I want to talk to you about the pros and cons of this EIN only business line of credit from TD Bank. What are the pros? One thing I need to understand, I need to explain to you here is that TD Bank is the American branch of Canadian Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. Okay, so this division is actually based out of New Jersey, and they operate in 15 states, primarily on the East Coast. So the bank also serves Washington, D.C. So it's important to understand that East Coast businesses with good credit that are looking for a large but not too large alternative to the big 4 or 5 banks may find TD Bank that this TD Bank offer is kind of cool. Okay, and what are the pros and cons here? The pros: this is suited for small to large businesses, low interest rates, and there are a few. The fees that you can see with the line of credit are a few with TD Bank. And it's important to understand that we also have some reviews and testimonials from borrowers that are positive. They talked about waived origination fees, versatile products, and better rates with TD Bank. So those are really, really good. One thing we want to say here is that TD's rates are not the best in the business, but they are lower than you would find with many other lenders. I'm speaking here about Bank of America, Citi, and Wells Fargo. Let's talk about the cons. They do have stringent borrower qualification, and they only operate in 15 states and the District of Columbia. And in terms of the complaints we have seen online, people say that the bank is regional, so you'll have an easier time doing business with TD if you are on the East Coast and you have a branch nearby. So if you're somewhere in California or Nevada, you might not qualify unless you already have a relationship with the bank. If let's say if you are an online seller, if you sell on Amazon or Etsy or eBay, and you have a credit card, for instance, with TD Bank, you can open a business checking account and qualify for their business loans and line of credit. Okay, the TD Bank also offers a traditional application, so it may be a little faster than it was in the old days, but you need to fill a bunch of forms instead of doing things on online. Okay, and it may be harder to qualify if you compare this with other lenders, especially alternative lenders. Okay, so something you need to think about. But overall, this line of credit is great. The fees are great, and this could suit any business of any size. Let me talk to you about eligibility. Folks, we are still having a conversation today about the TD Bank $500,000 EIN only business line of credit. And what are the borrower qualifications? One thing you need to understand is that before you actually get this line of credit, if you want to apply on a personal level, in other words, without EIN, they require a FICO score of 680 or higher. But if you have a FICO score around 580 or 575 and you have a strong relationship with the bank, you would qualify for this line of credit. Not a problem. Okay. And in terms of the revenue eligibility requirements, they want you to have 1.5x the amount of revenue that actually, let's say you need to have $1.50 in revenue for every dollar you borrow. Let me give you an example. If you want a line of credit of $100,000, be sure your business generates at least $150,000 gross revenue every year. That's gross revenue, okay? So that's pre-tax revenue. And the DTI, TD Bank will pay attention to your DTI, your debt to income ratio. They want you to have a DTI of 35% or less. So this is important. So time in business, 2 years. Okay, and you want to be in one of the states in which TD operates. So they are in Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia, and in the District of Columbia. It's also important to understand that, and TD Bank has not communicated this to us, but you need to have great financial statements in addition to a balance sheet, to a business plan. So you want to make sure that your financial statements are rosy, show that you have great assets, you have cash inflows and cash outflows. When I speak about financial statements, I am talking about all the 4 financial statements. So this is your balance sheet, your income statement, your statement of cash flows, and your statement of owner's equity. And you want to have a compelling business plan that TD Bank is going to read. Okay, especially if you are looking for a higher credit limit. If you want a limit that is above $100,000, you really better be ready to explain to them why you need the money and how the money will help your business generate more money, more revenue. What about the application process? Well, I have told you before that do not expect a fast application process, an online application process with TD Bank. They really take more time here. And one thing you need to be clear about, you can actually do the application over the phone. However, if you're looking, let's say if you're looking for a small amount, let's say 25K or 50K, you can do things, you can do it over the phone, or in some cases online, depending on the states where your business operates in. But if you are looking for a larger loan limit, a larger line limit, you need to go to a branch, okay? So a specialist will talk to you. They will basically help you fill out the application. They'll ask you questions about your business. They'll ask you questions about your funding needs, okay? Depending on the type of financing you're seeking, you may need to attach additional documents, okay? So please remember, you need to go to the branch, have an appointment with them, and they'll take care of you. So when you go to the branch, Bring your financial statements. I've already explained that to you. Your business plan is important. They might also want to see your debt schedule. In other words, they want to see your current outstanding debts. It's important to them to see what kind of exposure they're taking on, because for them, any new product, any new funding program is an additional exposure for the bank, right? They might also want to see copies of your leases and contracts. Again, it's all about establishing the level of exposure here. So TD Bank lines of credits and loans, for that matter, are great for a small business that want to choose from multiple loan options, small businesses that are confident in their ability to be approved for a business loan, and small businesses that are in one of the states TD Bank serves. At the end of the day, it's all about your needs. It's all about the operational phase you are currently in, okay? And you can look at it's also about your funding needs. For us, this is really important. You want to go to your statement of cash flows right now. You want to pay attention to your cash flows from operating activities, your cash flows from financing activities, and your cash flows from investing activities. And you want to pay attention to your cash flows from funding activities specifically, because you want to see what kind of money do you currently have debts. Are the owners adding enough cash? Is there any cash infusion into the business? Okay, so before you sign for everything, because remember, TD Bank will do a hard pull on you if you choose to apply for this line of credit without EIN. So make sure everything is clean before you reach out to the bank. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about TD Bank EIN only business line of credit, and the maximum limit here is $500,000. And I want to talk to you about some loans from TD Bank, because things happen. If you do not get approved for the line of credit, then you might want to apply for the loan. You never know, right? So when we talk about loans at TD Bank, you have TD Bank Small Business Loan. So loan amounts go from $10,000 to $1 million, and the term length 3 to 5 years. The interest rate is unknown, but we reckon that it should be between 5% and 12.99%, and no origination fee if you're looking for loans under $100,000. So this is really good. And if you decide for any reason, or the bank compels you to provide collateral for the loan, they will do a blanket lien. You can have a finance asset. You can secure the loan with a CD, a certificate of deposit, or a savings account. So you can use the small business term loan to buy equipment, vehicles. You can use it for expansion, for renovation, for working capital, and real estate. So you do have a variety of uses here. And these loans resemble traditional bank loans, lasting several years and accumulating interest over time. And interest rates are fixed, okay? And TD Bank's small business term loans can be also secured if you have a deal with the bank, meaning you will need to provide collateral as security. So this is for the small business loans. You also have the SBA loans. So TD Bank they are an SBA lender, okay? So with SBA loans, you have the borrowing amount $250,000 to $5 million. That's for the SBA 7A program, and this is for business and real estate loans. And there's no maximum for first mortgage, and $5,500,000 for the second. And this is for the SBA 504 loans. And the term length, you have up to 25 years for the 7A program and up to 20 years for the SBA 504 program. And in terms of origination fee, those will oscillate from 0 to 3.5%. And there are also other unknown bank fees. And the collateral is actually, it varies by products. So what I want to say here is that you do have choices, okay? If the line of credit is not for you, if you don't qualify for this line of credit, apply for the loans. Who knows? Or apply for the SBA loans. Who knows? And let me give you other information that you might find relevant to this line of credit. When we talk about TD Bank in general, we just want to say that their sales and advertising transparency is average. In other words, the bank is not really good. They need to do a better job in terms of transparency, how they communicate around their line of credit, what the fees are. Right now, everything is run as if you have to contact them directly to get all the information. And this is not how some of TD Bank's rivals are doing things, okay? And so you're not going to, if you go to tdbank.com or if you contact them via phone, they're not giving you enough information. They want you to visit a branch. They want you to talk to a loan specialist. I guess that's how the business model works for them, but this is what it is. So in terms of sales and advertising transparency, we believe they can do much, much more. This work stream should be improved. So TD Bank, if you are listening to this show, please work on that. And in terms of your customer service, this is great. This is really excellent. We were brilliantly, we were impressed actually. And you can reach customer service by phone. You can also schedule an appointment by phone. And there's also a chat feature on the site that's supposed to be active Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 Eastern. But again, it's one of those things you have to do trials and errors. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And what I want to say here is that if you want to get the best out of a TD Bank, especially the customer service or in your interaction with the loan rep, make sure that you always bring your financial statements with you. Whenever you give them a call about the line of credit or about a loan, make sure that you have your financial statements with you. Because remember that there is a due diligence process that TD Bank may require depending on the loan amount. If you're asking for $500,000, they're not just giving you $500,000. They will do some research, making sure that your company is legit, what you will use the money for. They might ask for audited financial statements, okay? And remember that EIN only application is possible, but like I said, you can actually apply without EIN also, not a problem. And your business credit score or personal credit score will have an impact on the line amount that you get. If you apply for this line of credit without EIN only, your personal credit score will be an important factor in the decision-making process. If you apply with EIN only, your business credit score and your business financial performance will play a bigger role. Let me talk to you about alternatives, folks. Big decision time. Are you interested in the TD Bank EIN only business line of credit? Is this appealing enough to you? Do you think that this will help your business? If not, I do have alternatives for you. First, let's talk about Santander. So Santander is kind of cool. They help you get a line of credit to finance accounts receivable, purchase inventory, support seasonal cash flow fluctuations. Okay, and you have revolving lines for amounts starting at $10,000, and the length of the line of credit, the loan or the length of credit, you have it's 5 years renewable or 1 year renewable. It depends on your company. And you have revolving lines with renewals occurring once a year or five times a year, 5 years, every 5 years, for lines of credit no greater than $350,000. So the limit is you have $10,000 all the way to $350,000. So this is important to remember, folks. And additional benefits, you have unsecured lines up to $100,000. In other words, if you are looking for a line of credit from $100,000 to $350,000, you might need to secure the line. And let's talk about PNC Bank. So PNC is another competitor in the same space here, and their business line of credit goes from $20,000 to $100,000. You have a simplified loan and line of credit application process, and the decision-making process is also fast. No collateral required, and you have easy funds access. Okay, so line of credit amount $20,000 to $100,000, and you have easy access to funds. You can write a check drawn against the account, transfer funds into an eligible PNC deposit account using online banking or by telephone. And in terms of payments, payment amounts is 1.5% of the balance or a minimum of $100. And you do have some extra. So your line of credit may be eligible for overdraft protection for your PNC Bank business checking account, and there is no collateral required, and the annual fee is $175. So this is really good. And in terms of applying, you can apply for this line of credit very easily. You can apply online. You can apply by phone. You can call 1-800-762-56 84, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, or you can apply in person at a branch. So this is really good, and make sure that you actually call them before going to the branch. Alright folks, this was it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about the TD Bank EIN only, $500,000 business line of credit. I gave you an overview of this product, the pros and cons, the eligibility process, the application, the loans, other loans that TD Bank offers, other info that you might find relevant, and the alternatives to this line of credit. Thank you so much for your attention. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.